I mean, you yourself, and you talked about some of the stuff you were doing before, you started making money doing rap. Did you ever get arrested?
Yeah.
How many times?
Probably like 3.
Okay. What was the longest stretch that you did?
I never went to jail.
So you never went to jail?
No.
Okay. What were you arrested for those 3 times?
I had a 3-year suspended sentence. That was the longest that was, so I got arrested a couple of times. I got arrested. I went to the hoop and beat a attempted armed robbery.
Attempted armed robbery. You talk about what happened? I mean, now that it's over?
I don't really want to get into all of like my, cases and shit like that, but
fair enough.
Cause I'm kind of corporate now, I sit at the Celtics games, I chill with Mark Wahlberg and shit, but you could 1090 Jake me for life. Feel me?
Shout out to Jake, man. That's my man.
1090 Jake me for life. You feel me?
It's become a verb now.
One of my cases is
1090 Jake me.
Yeah, 1090 Jake.
He's turned into a verb.
1090 Jake me for life. They try. You know what I mean? 1090 Jake me for life. I beat my first case. Yeah, I think I was 17. I went to the hoop. My other case, I caught a trafficking case. This was my co-defendant right here. You know what I mean? My other co-defendant was over there. We beat the case in 2 weeks. Bro took what was his at the time. You know what I mean?
Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get Jake on FaceTime real quick. Hey, real quick. I'm interviewing Millyz right now. He said something interesting about you, positive wise. You mind if I record this real quick? And I'm gonna put you on with him.
You gonna put my face on? I'm in the gym. I'm in a fucking cryo chair right now.
Yeah, we'll put your face on. Is that cool?
Man, fuck it.
Fuck it. Hold on. Let me record this. All right, hold on. Here you go. Let's say that, Jake.
Man, they was talking about my cases. He said, yo, do you want to get into your cases? And I said, I really don't want to get into my cases, bro, but you know what I mean? You could 1090 Jake me to death, you heard? And 1090 Jake had a close friend that he was pushing who, as soon as he found out paperwork was on him, he put it out there. Me and bro is cool, but if you ever see, you know what I'm saying? If there's ever something foul on me, that's just the code of the streets, bro. You could 1090 Jake me to death, you know what I mean?
No, that's a fact. Hey, Vlad, I'm gonna tell you too, right? Because people try to say this and that about bruh, and I got to the bottom of that in 2 seconds. It was all based on bullshit. But if you really do your homework, you will find out Millyz done been there where real life murders done took place and never said a word. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that he doesn't project that people don't expect that. But if they did their fucking homework on him, they find out there's a lot more to his story than he speaks on. So, it's always been love and respect with bruh. But I've been, people try to do what they do. They hate a motherfucker that got shit going, got shit on lock. That's all it is.
100 mile, bro. You know that shit.
There you have it. No. I was just telling him that he turned your name into a verb. That's the first thing he said. They tried 1090 Jake me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh shit.
No, I said you can 1090 Jake me.
You can 1090 Jake me.
That's a new word for paperwork. 1090 Jake me, man. Pull my shit up.
I'm saying, yo, my man just got verbed. You know what I mean? I gotta get him on FaceTime for this historic moment.
We coining that, Vlad. If you put that, split that shit 3 ways, the trademark on that.
Yeah? 1090
Yeah,
Jake?
like if that becomes the new word for paperwork.
Y'all can have that. That's yours. That's yours. I don't want a piece of that. I'm cool. All right, man. Yo, see you next interview.
All right, bro.
All right. Sorry, I had to get 1090 Jake, since you had such a fly line, I'm like, okay, let me actually put the man on there.
Nah, so long story short, bro, my cases were, you know what I mean, a long time ago, and the most that happened was I pled down to a trafficking charge. I pled down, they let me plead down to a DUI with a 3-year suspended sentence. And I was so young, I didn't even understand that a 3-year suspended sentence means any day you get locked up. Or
3 years, yeah.
I didn't know that. So I'm special education kid for real. So I thought that it meant every day that went off was a day off that sentence. So by the time it got down to 6 months, I was like, I'll do my 6 months right now. I don't give a fuck if I violate probation.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but you know, God's been with me this whole time, bro. Like I got a heavy God presence in my life, man, and I was able to get through that 3 year suspended sentence, and I don't wish that on anybody because you really got to walk on eggshells, man. I know people with 6 years suspended sentences, 10 years suspended sentences, shit like that. So,
yeah, I mean, look at Young Thug.
man,
He took a 15-year plea deal, a 15-year suspended sentence plea deal, 15 years probation, I believe. So
you got a suspended sentence?
I think so, yeah. So during those 15 years, if he violates, he could get up to like 35 years.
Yeah, and that's their whole plan. So you know, like I had a good lawyer, George Murphy, and they smacked me for the DUI but they hit me with that 3 year suspended sentence. I really had no idea what that was like. But by the grace of God, yeah, I'm here, man, because I need it every day to be able to focus on this rap shit for real.
Okay, like during those times, when you look at like a 3 year suspended sentence, that's not what they give you in the beginning. That's what you end up with at the end. In the beginning, they're usually threatening you with like, what, 5-10 years, something like that?
Yeah, it was probably something like that. Yeah.
Did they ask you to cooperate?
No, there was nobody to cooperate on.
It was just you?
Yeah.
So during any of your cases, did they ever offer for you to
Never.
cooperate?
I was never asked to cooperate on anything.
Really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's like, yeah, I don't know, like I think that's more shit like when you, like back in the day, I guess they had, you know, feds and shit like more for the mob. I think like nowadays they're trying to like really get circles of people to cooperate on each other and shit like that. Like,
Yeah, I feel like these days the RICO thing is being abused.
yeah,
You saw it.
it's being abused 100%.
Yeah.
That shit was made for John Gotti and them, and they'll go RICO somebody's projects, and that's a gentrification RICO. So basically, if they like a neighborhood, they'll RICO that projects that's sitting in the, like, for instance, right, Cambridge. Let me break Cambridge down to you. Cambridge is 5% the size of Boston, essentially. 50% of that is like MIT and Harvard. 20% of that is rich people. 30% of that is blue collar. Within that 30%, you got 14 housing projects, right? Now, obviously, Cambridge is we're closer to Boston than damn near Boston. I could race you to the Boston Garden. Like, if you get shot, you go to Boston Medical. Like, the Mass Ave Bridge is there. We got water. It's beautiful. But there's 14 housing projects. So what would they want to do? They'd RICO a housing project. And now, you know, once you catch a case, that's Section 8. So everybody got to get out. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. Okay.
But this is happening all over the nation. So name a place that's beautiful in New York. Like, wherever you see a beautiful place with projects, they're going to try to RICO those projects and say, this project is a gang. Get all of that out. And it's RICO gentrifications for real. I believe it's the housing developers and shit, the people who is coming in and gentrifying shit, working with the feds hand in hand.